Hi everybody, it's me Legardo Laxon. I'm here to make another review comparing the ND3000 I reviewed first because I was over expecting the next MAME system, and anybody who was surfing the net on DX Stream, there was I got into a conflict about that real quick about it because it's going to be really quick as much as I have to put in about 10-minute length. As I'm speaking about the ND3000 or the P1 4000, those units, they're very bad. They're very slow. They're only great for like PS. Okay, for the 4000 series, it was more for like PlayStation first generation 3D games and 2D games as well. But yet it's still choppy, way choppy. And I'm gonna go further about that later in the end of the review. Now, talking about comparing it against to the Gamebox. The Gamebox actually it actually has a dual core 500 megahertz. I don't know about that. The ND3000, it was very slow when I was playing the any CPS1 or CPS2. The animation was very slow. It was very slow. I love what it comes with. It looks like a PS2 Slim, and then after that you can plug your PS1 or PS2 controller. You can just plug any controller in that socket, even the wireless. That's what I give a lot of respect to it. And then as well as thinking about these units, of course I have the P2 station. That's what they call it. The ND3000. But I have that on shelf right now. So things I have on the shelf means I'm just gonna have it on shelf. Now, for what now I'm going to do. It was very slow. I want something on the go. Hey, I want an arcade on the go. Friends as well. So guess what? I ordered 3 Gamebox from Deal Extremes. One was defective. So here's a warning. When they're delivering the Gamebox, if you hear a little click, 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 or no, that's not going to be a good unit. Unless, well, if it still turns on, it's good. But if you want to be enthusiast to open it, make sure that you tighten up some screws. Well, the reason why I'm mentioning about it, because the processor and they have like some thermal paste on it. Make sure that the processor is sealed tight, because the workmanship was not very good on it. So just telling you about that. As I'm speaking about the Gamebox, in code name, of course, GB 1001. This is the box right here. This is the open one. I'm actually looking at it. You know what? The box looks great, but the quality of the printing of the boxes is very like one of those Famiclones. Clones. Like you can go to a swap meet and get yourself a gun. The packaging doesn't matter. Now let's talk about the unit. I'm actually playing it right now. This is actually the Mark of the Wolves. This Fate of Fury Mark of the Wolves, and it runs very fluently. Frame rates are very acceptable, very acceptable compared to the ND3000. And of course, it has its own sound processor, but the sound processor has its own way, so it's playable with the sound and the speed. Looking at the unit, it does come with the unit, composite cables. So if you're gonna order it in a China website of any way, you better order one of these, because this unit comes with Asian region type of adapter in the bottom, which is bright up red, knowing it's on or plugged in as well. And this is the unit, and this unit of course has like these LEDs right here, but when it's touch sensitive, so it's time for me to reset. It's like a PS3. Like when you look at the box, it looks like a PS3 enlarged, but it's actually a miniature. And the molding of the console is so identical to some kid version of another console that I remember. It was silver. If anybody correct me wrong, please comment it on my YouTube, please, so I can find out, because I remember seeing something that looks identical to this, but it's actually an emulator station. So I'm looking at the menu. Forgive the resolution. I'm using a very old school Sony CyberShot camera. So as you can see, this is a modified version basically, but I'll explain how to modify your own game box when you order it. When you order the game box, it has its own default BIOS and firmware. There's no such thing as the new firmware is already updated on the console. There's no way, because in the bottom side there's a micro SD, and then the other side has a 5-pin port USB. So in order for you to plug it into your computer, I'll explain that later. So this is a modified version. Of course, when I'm playing these games, it looks very, very good. You know, like I'm playing Super Street Fighter and Super Psyche. Anybody who likes soccer. Now, looking at these screenshots, you can make your own screenshots as long as the file format for the games can be run. I think it's running under MAME format, not the WinCrocs or the other type of emulators, that has both, having Neogeo and all that. No, it's running under MAME. So you have to put BIOS and others. I have to understand, because these screenshots are from the ND3000. I copied them there. It worked, because when you purchase the ND3000, it does come with a CD-ROM, including all the ROMs. So, like, I remember my last review, I had the Super Gem Fighters, but I rather have a fighting game that's more accurate. Now, I'm going to put Marvel Superheroes. Of course, you have to press A. A is a substitute for O or 0. And right now, of course, it has the load screen. In other reviews, if you look at the game box, of course, when you have the micro SD, you have to load the BIOS and the ROMs, in MAME format. The games will play, but you won't have a screenshot unless you want to make one under its own resolution. It has its own instructions on the ND3000 how to make your own screenshot for the resolution wise, but just press print screen when you gotta have a computer, and then have this if you want it on the go, because you don't want to have a laptop in the second hand. Unless you have one, you don't need to get one of these, So this is Marvel Superheroes. I'm inserting coins by pressing select, but the button configuration, there's no way for me to change it because it has its own default Neo Geo and plus the Game Boy Advance. So for the 6-button games, because for CPS1 and 2 they have 6-button and 2-button, I feel sorry for the 6-button because the first button is gonna be the X, and you'll find out the arrangement if you purchase one of this under Deal Extreme. So I'm actually gonna put on normal, comparing from my last review. Look at this, it's actually running in full speed, and sound wise still including, it has its own sound processor, so it forgive its own. Listen to the music. Everybody knows Captain America's theme. The sound processor is on sync for PAL, but the video and the frame runs perfect. You see, like I'm jumping, I put in normal mode, it runs perfect. So you can add ROMs by plugging in this unit. Now let me press reset by just tap. There you go. It's touch sensitive. It's a touch sensitive chassis. Anybody who has the game box with the shiny gloss finish are the lucky ones. Now, comparing it control wise, the build on this controller along with the ND3000 are the same, but the plug is different. The plug, I'm sorry to say, you may see USBs. No, they're not. They are not USBs. They are actually their own design. It looks like a USB, but the game box designed it to be something else, which I don't know. I mean, like, man, and the other thing about this is that, of course, you can have 2-player to 4-player options with the ROMs, but they don't sell the controllers by singles. And to look at the controllers, there's a lot of forums saying, okay, this port is real, but these other ports are fake. No, they all function. Yes, they do. The only thing is they don't sell the controllers singles. No, this is the GB controller. Yes, you plug this USB controller type on a PC, ain't gonna be recognizing